time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
12:04 on a game day. The Golden Knights and the Oilers. A big one tonight. Nielson, Cass, and Gage are back with you here on Two Guys and a Goalie. Gager, do we have to start by congratulating Matt Kassian on Formula One success this year, or what?
He's just trying to be like me.
Yeah.
He was muted this morning. He's muted right now.
It's a tribute to you, Cass.
I know. It's just like a love letter. Yep.
There he is. There he is.
What are we celebrating? He did nothing. He did. In the words of Richard Babet, if you're not first, you're last. And Cass is manufacturing awards in our F1 pool. The Constructors Championship.
Why did we have two teams? Then why did we have two teams?
I mean, a fair question, Gage. You're the commissioner. I mean, you can respond to that one.
Just to provide a little bit more. We did one team last year, Cass, at the beginning of this year. I thought it would be beneficial for us all to have maybe another team if things, maybe the one team wasn't going well. I think we're going to go back to the one team format because it just seemed like you had two teams with the exact same people on it all the time, right? So
solidarity. Solidarity.
So we're going
to start running with solidarity here.
We're going to go to the one team, and unfortunately, the winner of this year's F1 AM Nasty Formula One fantasy season was Tony Brar.
I think this is garbage, and the reason I think it's garbage is because we always talked about having two teams, and the reason having two teams, and it's like you have to be more flexible, you have to adapt, you have to run two teams, and whoever ends up with the most points wins. And I, by far and away, by like hundreds of points, if you look at the teams together, had the most. So you know what, I will respect your decision, Gager, because you're commish, and I believe that running for solidarity and trying to force the commissioner to do something he doesn't want to do isn't a good thing. So you know what, you do what you have to do, but we all know who really won. We all know.
Yeah, it was Tony Brar. I hate it too, Cass.
I definitely did.
You didn't. You finished second.
You know what? I'm gonna get my own ring and my own trophy. And when we all get together to celebrate the end of the F1 season, I'm gonna be carrying that thing around. It's gonna be way bigger than the one you got too. I don't know how big the trophy is that you got, but I'm gonna get one that's bigger, and I'm getting two rings, not just one ring. I'm gonna get two rings, one for each team.
Cash, you're so spicy today. I love it.
That's like the Florida Panthers going on a parade with their manufactured second cup after the playoffs. Like,
okay,
makes no sense whatsoever.
You're supposedly an F1 fan, correct? Am I right in
supposedly? Oh my goodness!
Right. So
spitting fire. You watch it. Do you want to start next season from the pit lane, Cass? I can make that happen.
What is the team championship for F1? What's it called?
We do not have a constructors
you didn't answer the question.
Winner.
You didn't answer the question.
I am answering the question. In F1, there is a constructors championship. In the F1 AM Nasty, there has not been a constructors champion.
That was how it was supposed to be from the start. That's why we did two teams.
We said the team that wins is the ultimate champion. We haven't manufactured a new winner here. I've never seen. You've never been. It's like I'm talking to Toto Wolff right now. Just poopy pants. Like, this is crazy.
About poopy pants. I won by a landslide. But that's, you know what?
Your teams finished second and third. That's ridiculous. That's you did not win the drivers' champion. Your teams finished with more points than others, yes, but there is no winner for the constructors in our league.
Revisionist rules. All right, you know what? You're the.
Just make up your own rules, guys. Make up your own rules. Hey, let's have. You know what? You win the trophy for best beard too in the thing. I'll give it to you. Well, you know what? You lost that one too. Tony's is way better than yours. Screw it. You lost. You're second in your constructor's beard category, okay?
Yeah, VRN and the nasty chat. I completely agree. This commissioner's drunk with power. I will follow that up with saying one too many 6 o'clocker loggers. So
that's what it is.
One, and I'm sorry, Matt Owanek. I think that's what started this whole thing with Matt. He's gone off the deep end with his whole commish and stuff. Ever since I had that 6 o'clocker, he's been not wanting to work anymore. The thing's falling. I don't know. Quinn Phillips is moving in. This is just. I'm sorry, Maddie. Maybe we need a discussion over some Mr. Mike steak bites.
You know what? Just join us on Wednesday at Alley Cat for the official launch, and everything will be fine. 4 to 7, if anybody wants to swing by Alley Cat Tap Room, and we will be there officially launching the 6 o'clocker lager. If you are watching right now, or you are listening at Edmonton Sports Talk on the free TuneIn app, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, and the Nasty Chat is moving along as well. Guys, the Chicago Blackhawks have released a statement. There's been rumors running rampant that Corey Perry slept with Bedard's mom on the mother's trip, and everybody's like, this is ridiculous. It sounds insane, which it obviously does. The Chicago Blackhawks have now placed Corey Perry on unconditional waivers and plan to terminate his contract effectively immediately. The statement from the team says, after an internal investigation, the Chicago Blackhawks have determined that Corey Perry has engaged in conduct that is unacceptable and in violation of both the terms of his standard players contract and the Blackhawks' internal policies intended to promote professional and safe work environments. As such, Corey Perry has been placed on unconditional waivers. In the event Mr. Perry clears waivers, we intend to terminate his contract effective immediately. So whatever Corey Perry has done, which has still not come out, it is drastic enough that the Chicago Blackhawks are using a clause in his contract to terminate this after placing him on unconditional waivers. Cass, let's start with you, man. Your reaction to the Chicago Blackhawks set to terminate Corey Perry's contract for something he did around the team.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, man. This is just slap me in the face. Like that'd be insane. I mean, I guess justifiable. Those are gossipy rumors still because we don't truly know what happened, but pretty crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty nuts. It's almost as nuts as what Gage is trying to do as F1 commissioner.
You have 95 days to get over this. Just like Lewis did it. Came back strong. Just deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty crazy. It'd be interesting to see if he files any kind of an appeal or what that process would look like. I mean, you'd have to think they have a pretty strong case, and certainly Chicago, if we look at their past, in the past number of years, and all the issues that we've seen with Chicago, you know, they're clearly wanting to take a firm hand with player conduct, which I understand, given how they haven't in the past, and they haven't addressed not necessarily just player conduct, but they haven't addressed internal issues well in the past or at all in the past, and have failed miserably at that. Maybe trying to write something here. So yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, we need more information, and the gossip will fly. But yeah, that's pretty crazy, guys.
Gager, I don't know if sleeping with another teammate's parent is on the list of things that you would terminate on a contract, but this does not, like, for all the crazy rumors that are out there right now, this certainly doesn't splash cold water on them. The fact that they're going to terminate his contract for something he's done that's detrimental to the team. You have to cross a pretty significant line for this to happen, right, Gager?
Yeah, it's almost. I don't even want to know at this point.
I have to know. I have to know now.
You have to know, hey, Cass?
I don't have to know, but I'm just. It's so intriguing. So
if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, in the words of Lloyd and Harry, pick them up. I don't know. It does not a good look with all these rampant rumors. I've heard some pretty outrageous things back in the day with the Edmonton Oilers with teammates, and they were completely untrue. Look, Chicago's in a position where they cannot have any more these types of scandals or things happening or outside of the team. Good for them to put their foot down to put a stop to it, but man, it piques some interest to see what actually happened with Corey Perry. And I mean, weren't we talking about a few weeks ago, just thinking he would probably be kind of one of those veteran presence, a guy that's won before. He would.
Well, that's what he was brought in for. He was supposed to be brought in as like a mentor
for Connor
Bedard. Like
that's a good mentor.
Well, we don't know. We don't.
That's a daddy figure, I guess. Trying to be a daddy figure.
We don't know. I mean, it's obviously. Yeah. I have a hard time believing that the rumors are true about Corey Perry and Connor Bedard's mom. I mean, come on. But once again, nobody from the either side has been like officially the Blackhawks have come out and said, please stop saying this about Connor Bedard's family. You know what I mean? Like, so it's weird. This is an article, a quick article on the story here. Ben Pope, who covers the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't know if he did this on purpose or if I'm just seeing it this way, but his story goes like this, the last couple of paragraphs. Perry was abruptly healthy scratched last Wednesday in Columbus and has not been seen since. The 38-year-old Ontario native, former league MVP with the Ducks, has played each of the Hawks' first 16 games this season after an off-season trade from the Lightning. The team had remained unusually mum and secretive about his status, even after general manager Kyle Davidson held a news conference Saturday. Davidson is expected to hold another news conference on Tuesday, but for the beat reporter guy to include the terms unusually mum and secretive on the conversation, I mean, I feel like he's sneaking that in because he's a sly dog in that situation. I just feel like Chicago or Corey Perry or whoever could stop all of this by just coming out and saying, here's why he's being cut. Here's why his contract's being terminated. Because if not, you're just allowing these rumors to continue to run rampant, which is probably significantly impacting your team right now. So I don't know. It's interesting. We'll leave it at that for now. So, but yeah, the Chicago Blackhawks going to terminate him. So I saw somebody in the Nasty Chat say, where was it here? If Perry ends up on the Oilers, I quit. Now that's from somebody in the Nasty Chat whose name is Jenna Tills. So we'll take that for what it's worth at that point. But I mean, I'll throw it out there. We were already talking about him as a possible trade target when he was healthy scratched. Cass, does this change the way you would view some sort of signing of Corey Perry at this point of the season?
It all depends on what it is. I mean,
well, that's why you want to know, right? Like,
yeah, you want to know what it is. I mean, I keep thinking of Stifler's mom, kind of some sort of joke. I can't come up with a joke yet. I'm working on it. But yeah, if it's not, I want to know what it is to see if he's untouchable or not. Right? What caused this to get him? Like, it has to be pretty egregious to nullify the contract, because every NHL contract has that one clause that you can get your contracts null and void if you do something unbecoming of the team, or however it's worded, right? So obviously it has to be something pretty big for them to do something like this. We need to see what it is, first of all, because man, I think there's a lot of fans that if it's something that's not too horrible,
you're right. We need to know exactly what the hell is going on here.
Yeah, because you guys know, because I don't, like, with this, are they required to submit more information? Because certainly they would have to the NHL.
Well, if not, it opens up a grievance from the PA, doesn't it? Like,
it most likely would. Like, you clearly have to show cause. Right, like you have to submit why we're doing this, why we can terminate his contract, why it was against, the rules of the contract, and it was a breach of conduct. I wonder if that, if other NHL teams have access to that before signing a player, and you'd think they would. But yeah, if the Oilers wanted to look at him, you have to know. You have to know. You'd have to know what it was.
Kid Thunders and it says, man, I can't wait to have Macramala on the Nielsen show tomorrow. EST legal analyst and guy who ran into, well, we'll leave some of those intros. But Macramala would know a little bit more on the player contract stipulations here and exactly what's going on at that point. Because I guess Chicago doesn't want to address the rumors because then you're just letting people know that you were aware of the stupid rumors. But at the same time, Connor Bedard's supposed to be the face of the National Hockey League for the next 10 to 15 years. And you think the Chicago Blackhawks might step in here at some point and say, hey, our face of the franchise, this isn't the reason we're not cutting Corey Perry is because he slept the face of our franchise's mom. Like, somebody needs to get ahead of this, man. Like,
you would need to. The reason you don't want to get ahead of it, you want to get ahead of it too, is like if I'm someone on the other team. There's things you say and there's things you don't say to other guys on the ice to try to get under their skin. But I kind of feel like that's a load of ammunition. If I'm a pest on the other team and I'm trying to get in this guy's head to play against him, like if the rumors if it doesn't get like knocked or squashed by the organization or by the team, like, oh man, like you're just asking to have a young player get absolutely ripped to shreds by people on the ice. Like guys aren't kind out there, and I don't expect them, everyone to be. You're trying to do whatever you can to get in the head of other guys' teammates. Now, again, there's certain levels of conduct, and there's things you don't say, don't do, shouldn't, and will either get fined or suspended for doing or saying. I don't think mentioning that someone his mom got slept with by somebody else is something that the NHL could fine you or suspend you for saying that to somebody, like, because there's way worse stuff that gets said. And I just feel like that would be, if it's not, and I hope it's not true. I truly do. I hope it's, well, I don't know what it is.
I was going to say, you don't want it to be something really, 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 really bad,
Right.
And this is just,
but I also don't want it to be that
ridiculous.
Like, I'm trying to think. Maybe let's get some ideas in for aside from that, like the rumors. What could he have done? Because we haven't heard anything about any kind of like police investigation,
no,
or like legal proceedings. So it's like, well, what could he have done that warrants this? I hope for Bedard's sake that they do say and get out in front of that, because yikes, on ice he's going to take some heat.
Yeah, I can go ahead, Gager.
Yeah, I can almost say, yeah, they need to squash it quick, because like I'm just thinking, getting guys off their game. I can almost guarantee Matthew Tkachuk asking Connor Bedard if his mom's in the attendance tonight,
yeah.
Right? Is she here? Like, he's going to hear stuff like this constantly, right? You just want to stop it, whether he's probably hearing it already, right?
What an unbelievable story. If we would have told you, hey, you know what's going to happen in the National Hockey League this year? About 2 months in, Corey Perry, who's brought in as a mentor for Connor Bedard, is going to be unconditionally waived and released by the Chicago Blackhawks because there's rumors out there that he slept with Connor Bedard's mom. Like that, nobody in the world would have ever even, not even the best fictional writers of all time would have been able to come up with something like this storyline. So, we'll see how it sorts out. I just wish somebody would step up for the sake of the kid and be like, here's what's going on. Here's what's happening. Because if the truth never comes to light, people will always assume that this is what it was. And who knows, maybe it was. But
maybe it was. Surveyor Brett comes in with an interesting theory, which I understand on the Nasty Chat.
Oh, as to why Perry's been released, yeah.
As to why he's been released. The Blackhawks were not happy with his recent ruling as commissioner of the Chicago Blackhawks Fantasy F1 League.
So he's out. Yeah.
So he's out.
He's out.
Well, he was supposed to be a mentor, not a father figure. And
yeah.
I think he made it.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly. Richie Rich on Twitter replies to one of my tweets about this and says, the Oilers should sign him, tell him about On the Rocks, and that'll convince him to join.
He can go there with Tommy with the bow hunters and just go.
I don't know, man. I feel like you definitely can't. If you're the Oilers, unless you find out what it is, and in the end, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know what it could be that all of a sudden is like, oh no, that's okay. Oh, he did that there. Oh, that's okay. He can come play here. You know what I mean? Like, it was bad enough that Chicago is deciding to absolutely axe him after giving him $4 million or whatever, or bringing him in at $4 million. It's got to be something of significance where another team would have to be like, well, Should we go? Like, is this the way that Corey Perry goes out? Is this the last, because Corey Perry doesn't have a lot of legs left in the National Hockey League anyway. I mean, could we not see Corey Perry again and he goes out on these rumors? Like, that's, that's weird. It's all weird. It's just very, very, very strange. We'll see how this plays out, but that's the latest from Chicago. Breaking at just the right time for two guys and a goalie today. So that's good. All right, the Edmonton Oilers get the Golden Knights right now. Gage, let's start with your thoughts on this one, man. They've scored 13 goals in their last 2 games. They've outscored the opponents 13-2 so far. Vegas has lost 7 of 10. They lost last night. They played last night. There's no Theodore. There's no Martinez on this trip. But let's just start by focusing on the Edmonton Oilers. And what are you liking about what you've seen the last couple of games?
What I've liked is the consistency within their game. And I said it on the smash hit Dustin Nielson show this morning. I would have liked to seen a little bit more pushback from the teams that they played against. I thought the Caps and the Ducks both sucked, but the Oilers did impose their will on those teams, and there was nothing that they could do about it. Going up, at last night's game, you saw, it still went to OT. It's not going to be an easy, simple rollover game tonight. This is a game that both teams have circled from the beginning of the year to send that message. Obviously, in Vegas's case, they want to still put that seed of doubt into the Oilers that they cannot beat them when it counts. And the Oilers, due to their inefficiencies from the beginning of the season, trying to get out of this. This is a huge next step into getting back to where they want to be. If they beat the Golden Knights, are they back? I don't think so. I don't think they're nowhere close to where they want to be, because where they want to be is in a playoff position. This is just another step. I know you hear the adage, it's just another game. It is a little bit more than that, but with the situation they're in, back-to-backs, with a struggling Vegas Golden Knights team, with Craig Button saying that they actually look fatigued, they're ripe for the picking. And this is another confidence builder I think the Oilers need to do if they want to get back into the mix of things and get into that playoff position.
Guys, what do you think of this?
Struggling or not, they're still a first place team. Yeah. They've still played really good hockey this year. They still have really good players. Like, it's when we look at who the Edmonton Oilers have beat, yes, you beat Washington, who had been playing some pretty good hockey, but we don't think Washington's an absolutely elite team. You still haven't beat anybody. Like, you haven't beat those top teams yet. And although they're struggling,
the closest they would have was Washington, right, Cass? But
was Washington, and it's like the Golden Knights may be struggling a little bit, but they're still an elite level team. And so I think for me, like, it's still going to be a challenge. Vegas is going to want to turn it around. Now, do they look fatigued? Possibly. I haven't watched the last number of games of them. You do have them on a back-to-back here. They are a little bit banged up, so it's a big opportunity, but a big opportunity to beat a really good team that's in your division. So it's still going to be a challenge. For all their struggles scoring goals the last little bit, Vegas has still scored a lot of goals in the season, and they have quite a lot of depth to their scoring up and down the lineup, where there's a number of guys that can burn you. So it's I think a fun matchup and a fun one to watch, because you have the Oilers who are trying to scrounge back and scrape back into the season, and Vegas who's trying to stay on top and wanting to solidify their dominance mentally over the Edmonton Oilers. So it's going to make for an interesting matchup.
Gager, you talked about what they've done the last couple of games against these teams. How much of it is McDavid just seems to be wheeling again? I mean, he's got 9 points on the 13 goals that they scored. So it's really easy to just look at it and go, well, 75% of this is Connor McDavid related, and statistically it is. But is there more to it there, or is it just the best player in the world looks like the best player in the world again?
I think it's a piece of it. I think there's been contributions from other players that have added to the possibility of Connor McDavid saying, I don't I don't have to take over the game, right? I don't have to do too much. Like Evander Kane has played except for that back check. He makes up for it by getting that goal. Zach Hyman has been unbelievable. You've had a little bit more contributions through the bottom half of the lineup, like I mentioned this morning. Darnell Nurse seeming to be back to where he was when Ekholm started. Ekholm looking like Ekholm. So there's, I think, not only, of course, having Connor score, having 9 points in 2 games is to get him going is crucial for this team, but you see other people taking a step as well. So it is a piece, Dusty, but it's not the whole picture. I think you've seen other guys essentially take their game to not a next level, but take another few steps to where they need to be.
Cass, what have you thought of Darnell Nurse lately?
I mean, I think he's actually been pretty. The last couple of games, he's been good. He's been pretty good. More north south, not trying to do too much. I mean, that pass he made, the breakaway pass the other day was unreal. Beautiful pass. So I'm hoping it means he's settled in. Darnell Nurse is at his best when he's just playing. Like, he's not overthinking. He's just reacting. He's just playing. Like, just going with his instincts and making plays and not trying to. Like, he's and I hate talking about his contract because I think people harp on that all the time. But when he's not trying to play to his contract value, like when he's just trying to play, as opposed to trying to play for what he's being paid, then all of a sudden he becomes a player that is much more worthy of what he's earning. So I've liked his last couple of games. I've liked the intensity, and I think we start to saw a little bit of that maybe a couple of games before, where his physicality went up a little bit. And to me, again, when he's at his best, he's I don't want to say impulsive, but he's just, he's just playing, and he's playing aggressive and more physical. So yeah, his game has certainly improved. Want to see it keep going. Want to see him continue to lock it down. But I don't think there have been any moments in the last couple where I'm like, ooh, that was like really bad by Darnell Nurse, or ooh, what was he doing there? Because when he's not playing well, that's a pretty frequent occurrence where you're just like, where was he going with that? So yeah, he's locked it down a little bit and needs to continue to do so if they want to continue to build some momentum here and claw back into that wild card and into that playoff picture. He's still got to be. He's got to be the guy. He just has to be the guy without thinking that he needs to be the guy, or he just needs to go play.
Just every warm up, just start aiming for that crossbar, because that thing knocks some sense into him, man. And sometimes that can help. You get a little bit injured and stuff. You don't think about it too much. You're just like, my face is like numb in pain right now. I just want to like work hard, and that's it. You're not thinking so much. So maybe look for a puck to the mind every 5-6 games here, and Darnell Nurse, who knows, by the end of it, you're maybe be talking Norris.
Sticking with the blue line conversation, Penner's Pancakes in the nasty chat. And, of course, you can text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you were listening on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, Penner's Pancakes says, would like to see Bouchard unload more from the point. That goal in Washington was a thing of beauty. Nurse has been on point the last 3 to 4 games. We can comment on the Bouchard thing if we want. But what have you thought of Ekholm? I don't know why. Maybe they're just showing Ekholm a little bit more since the coaching change, but it seems like Ekholm is a little bit more vocal over the last little while for this team. Gager, do you see that with Ekholm, and how important is that maybe for this group just to get that communication out on the ice when you've been struggling?
Yeah, I mean, I've harped on the communication level in the defensive zone for all season. And now, like, the PK has been unbelievable for the Oilers the last few games, right? And if you watch and you look, you see heads on swivels. There's not as much focus on the puck. You see arms pointing to different places. There seems to be way more communication on the ice than there was prior to this. If we're talking about Ekholm in after the games and what he says, I love what he's been saying of how they need to start defending. And I think there's slowly little implementations of Chris with a K's systems in the defensive zone that are changing how the Oilers are playing. They seem to be we're going to see a little bit different tonight. I can't wait for tonight. It's funny how tonight's game like looking at this months ago, we would think it would be a battle for the top, and one's not doing well, one's kind of on the slide, but we're still, there's a lot of questions that this game can answer for tonight. But I do like the way that Ekholm's kind of rounded back into form from last year, and you can see Dusty missing training camp and not having a full camp and getting up to speed. It does take a long time to get up there. You can't just jump into this league. Not many guys can.
This text has come in, and I was going to get to it here at some point. Why has no one talked about, and this came in from Freezer Bag, why has no one talked about revenge on Alex Pietrangelo just yet? I know a lot of people are sort of expecting somebody to go take a run or a slash at Alex Pietrangelo. Cass, do you see any of that happening tonight?
Funny enough, we're getting a little preview of Game Changers here.
For the pregame show tonight.
So,
yeah.
Maybe not a lot of people have talked about that. I was thinking about that. Listen, you got to win a hockey game. And although your penalty kill the last couple of games has been much, much better and hasn't been as leaky as it has been all year, do you really want to give a team an opportunity when you need the 2 points? Now, if you were 4 or 5 or 6 games above 500, if you were, if the roles were reversed in Edmonton, you were in first place and Vegas was where the Oilers are in the standings, well, then maybe you have the ability to take a run at them. But to me, it's like, if you get a chance to hit him, you hit him. But you got to do it clean. You don't want to just do the same lumberjack move. You don't want to take the full swing because to me you're just putting your team in a position to give Vegas a chance to score. And now if you're up like 5-0, maybe. But even that, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, who's going to? I mean, Evander Kane. Like, is he going to be the guy?
Oh, it's Evander Kane. It's Ernie. It's Desharnais.
Yeah, but Desharnais is a defenseman. Like, what you expect him to travel
to go out of his way to it? Yeah, that's a good
go out
point.
of his way to like. So it's not going to be Desharnais. So yeah, you have Adam Ernie and Evander Kane, and it's like I don't think Pietrangelo doesn't terrify him. We forget that he's not a little person. Like he's a big old boy that can generally take care of himself. So to me, it's like you're wasting a little bit of time if you overly as a team concern yourself with that. So I hope that they're not. I mean, I hope the concern is on winning the hockey game. And yeah, if you get a chance to hit him clean, for sure. Take a run at the guy, try to hit him clean, but don't take a penalty doing it. Don't be stupid doing it because situationally where you are as a team, you need the points more than you need revenge.
Gager is just so damn dirty. It just lingers out there still for people, right?
Well, if you're looking for retribution, Dusty, look no further than what you did from games up to that point where he went nuts. The reason why Pietrangelo went and
good point.
Leon is because as a group, they finished every check on him where he went nuts and did something about it. It had, which when you look at it, it was weird. It had a weird effect on the Oilers where he completely took them out of their game in the next game. You had Leon faking, slashing him, and things like that. You don't need a guy to go beat him up. You need to finish your checks every time on him to the point where he does something stupid like that. That's what you want to get into the head of Alex Pietrangelo going, oh my God, I got to go up against the Oilers. They hit me every chance they get. And that's what I think would be more beneficial as a team, just to know that every time he's touching the puck, someone's on him and making life miserable for him. I would much rather see that tonight, Dusty, than some guy going and jumping him and hitting the back of his helmet and stuff. I don't think that accomplishes much. I think that still plays into the wheelhouse of Pietrangelo being in the minds of the Oilers for something he did a year ago.
Am I taking it too far tonight? And I just tweeted out a little while ago. Is tonight a game the Oilers should win? Like, am I taking it too far in saying they should win this one? Because, I mean, I look at the way Vegas has played lately, and if the Oilers don't win tonight, I'm going to be pretty disappointed in that group. But, like, should they win this game, Cass? Is that a fair statement?
I wouldn't want to say that. And the reason I wouldn't want to say that is, again, even though Vegas has been struggling, they're still a really good team and they have some injuries. So it's like if Vegas continues to play the way they've been playing, well, yeah, sure. But even if you look at that game against Calgary yesterday, they had chances to score. They just couldn't score. They didn't play a bad game. It wasn't a bad team playing a bad game. You got a good team that wasn't able to convert on some of its chances, still didn't give up very much, and ends up losing right at the end of overtime to a Calgary team that's been playing some better hockey. So I hesitate to say that they should win this one. If Edmonton plays the way they're capable of playing, because you're playing a team in back-to-back that is injured, well, yeah, you probably should win. But just as a blanket statement, I don't know. I'm hesitant to say that they should win heading into it, because there's another team you're playing against, and it's another team that is fully capable of playing some pretty good hockey.
Gage, what do you think?
Well, when you look at the schedule, how they're playing, how both teams are performing, you look at the stars of the Oilers, yeah. And on paper, I think so. But, I mean, Dusty, they were supposed to win those first 10 games of the season, too.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point. Yeah, they should have beat San Jose, yeah.
So it's, looking at it beforehand, yes, this is a game that sets up pretty nicely for the Oilers to get those 2 points. But there's one thing in saying it, and there's another thing in doing it. They have to bring even more intensity than they did the last 2 games if they want to beat the Knights tonight.
Tommy Gazzola just slid into the nasty chat saying cougar hunting sidekick, and I'm not even sure what he's referencing, because we've moved past that conversation by the time he got in here. So that might just be, maybe he's sending a group text to the Bozone Live people tonight. Maybe that's what it was.
No.
But I'm not 100% sure what Tommy was talking about in there. Bender's Pancake says, I get the gut feeling the Oilers are going to come out flying and hitting everything tonight. There will be some fiery pregame speeches. I am sure of it. From Rhino today, first time they've texted in. I like it. Guys, no chance Corey Perry signs with the Oilers for the fear. Yeah, no, I'm not going to read that one. That's probably taking it a little bit too far. Mind you, Cass, you look like you're getting taken away from us here in the light.
I know.
Look away from it, Cass. Look away from it.
I'm running out of space on my desk. I keep trying to move, and the sun keeps going down too fast. So it's like I'm gonna end up being like 4 feet away from the computer and the microphone.
No, the angelic Matt Kassian. Yeah.
No, that's the shine from his manufactured constructor's trophy. That's how bright that thing is.
Oh, jeez.
Look at that. Jeez, I'm trying to turn it here.
Oh, that's
I don't know how this is gonna work.
That's too funny. I do like that. Hey, okay, so somebody asked, I don't know if it was in the nasty chat or in the inbox, so I'll ask you. On Corey Perry, just last one, and then we want to get to Kane. We got the Minnesota coaching change. Like, there's a lot of things still to get to here. Predictions for the game tonight. If the rumors are true, and that's why the Hawks are releasing him, would you sign him? Like, if that's what the story ends up being, Gager, would you sign Corey Perry if the rumors are true and that's why they've let him go?
If he was with a mother of the team on a mom's trip, no. That's
across the line. We don't care if you can come in and
okay. That's just something that you do not do.
Like, that's not something you look the other way on and go, okay, Corey Perry, you can still play here. You're going to be an Edmonton Oiler. Like, part of me thinks we're going to have this conversation legitimately in about 7 days.
That ruins. It's not good on the culture of the team. It's really not good for the cohesiveness of the group in the dressing room, having relations with another guy's mom on the team.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If she's single, I don't know. Well, maybe, but I think she's married. That's offside. But no, you can't touch him after that. He's done at that point. That's why we need to. I think you need to know what happened here.
Cass, same answer or what?
It also, it depends, because if that's the case, I believe Corey Perry's a married guy. And you're going to be looking at all kinds of
and then it's a complete mess, right? Like, it's a complete mess.
Complete mess. I mean, you're dealing with all kinds of things, and so it's like, well, what are you even going to be able to what's the player even going to be able to bring, and is he going to be able to focus, or is he going to be really from a life standpoint just better off focusing on family, focusing on dealing with whatever the issues are. So yeah, I would lean away from it, even regardless of if that's it or if it's something else. It has to have been something significant.
Even on the Corey Perry side of thing, you would think his team would like to address, like his agent or somebody, a publicist would like to address the rumor and be like, yes, he has been released, but it's not because of these rumors. It's not like somebody needs to say that it's not true. Like somebody on either side of this needs to legitimately come out and say it's not true. Just so people stop talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's
the longer it goes, the more
it doesn't make sense.
It fuels this fire.
How has neither side significantly just came out and squashed this thing yet? Which doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. Anyway, Pat Kane. He signs with the Detroit Red Wings. Let's go there. A couple other things to get to here. We got about 10, 15 minutes left. We'll get to some game predictions. If you have any questions about anything or you want to chime in on anything, you can text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or hit us up in the nasty chat, and we'll get to some more of those as we work our way through the rest of Two Guys in Goalie here today. Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and Joaquin Gage with you. Cass, what do you think of the landing spot here for Patty Kane going to the Detroit Red Wings, who are currently third in their division and inside the postseason?
Yeah, it's an interesting one still, because it's like, if you're Pat Kane, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to win a cup? And are the Red Wings going to be that team that gives you the best chance to do that? So it was a little surprising, I guess, because even though they're playing well and they could make the playoffs and they have a good young core, I'm kind of like, well, is this the best chance that Patty Kane had from a team signing standpoint to win another cup? And I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. Now, with that being said, it's not like, he's an American guy, probably wanted to stay in the States. It's not like it's overly far from home for him. Still big city. So I get, in some regards, I get it, but it still was a little surprising to me. I think there had been some rumors that Dallas was in the running, which would have made more sense from a wanting to win the cup standpoint. With that being said, I didn't take a look at Dallas's cap situation, so I don't know if they would have been able to offer what Detroit did. But yeah, it was a little surprising. But I mean, you're going to a team that you could potentially make better. That is, as I said, good young team, and maybe the thought is if he has a good season there, he can sign there longer term for a team that is really on the up and up because of the quality of some of their young players.
Yeah. It's interesting, but Detroit's been playing well, right? So, you always think, he wants one more cup? Is this like Cass said, is this the best place? I think it'll be. I'm fascinated to see where Detroit is come the trade deadline. I don't know what the structure of Kane's contract is, or is there a no movement clause? Is there a list of teams that he would go to? To me, it seems like after last season going to the Rangers and that kind of failing, you'd think he would just want to stay in one spot. And maybe Stevie Y presented something that shows him that this team is going to be competitive, and his chances to hoist that thing one more time is best suited with this younger team. And you brought up the DeBrincat thing. Yeah. I think that
connection
was a lure too. There's something there that they can have, and they have Husso, great goalie, Seidel, unbelievable young defenseman, the DeBrincat and Kane. It's the makings of a pretty good foundational base for a competitive team.
Let's go to Minnesota, where they have made a coaching change. It was discussed a little bit earlier today on our show. I think with Wyshynski kind of brought it up. Kaprizov hasn't been playing great, and they've had bad goaltending so far, and it leads to a coach getting canned here. Cass, do you think the coaching change gets the Minnesota Wild back on track, who do have $15 million in dead cap space sitting there that they cannot use because of the buyouts of Suter and Parise?
Yeah, that dead cap space hurts, doesn't it? I mean, that's pretty painful, and we knew it was going to be painful for them. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Edmonton, where you have a team that's really underperforming, and this was the easiest thing to do because you don't have cap space.
Yeah.
You have so much dead money. You had to do something, and my old junior coach Dino is the one that gets axed over it. So a little bit of a different look with Hines coming in. Hopefully for them, they're able to turn it around a little bit, but they've been struggling, and I don't think they've really been able to find an answer as to why. Or what's going wrong. And when that's the case, easiest piece to change is the coach, which is what happened. Now I don't know that it wasn't to me as in a lot of ways premature as what Edmonton did, because Evason's record I don't think was as good. They haven't had the same type of success in a short period of time as the Oilers had with Woodcroft. But for the Minnesota Wild, I mean, they're searching for answers. A team that I think everyone expected to be a pretty solid team this year has just struggled. Now they have had some injuries, they've had some issues, but I mean, coach is the easiest one to change, so that's the trigger that's pulled.
I wonder if just the Oilers making their decision, had any influence on Billy Guerin going, you know what, I can do this too. It's always that domino effect, I think. With the Oilers, the position they were in, and seeing how the Minnesota Wild should have not be in the position they're in as well, I think that had a little bit of made the decision a little bit easier. But I mean, you had Evason as a coach, Cass. I've always liked him because he has the best of both worlds, like just a unbelievable junior player offensively. But when he came to the NHL, he was more of a defensive minded guy to play. I think he can kind of see both sides of it. And by all accounts, he was liked amongst his amongst the team, that's the thing. And same thing with Woodcroft. It's always puzzling to me to see a coach that everyone likes, and maybe that's not completely what you want, but a very fiery, intense individual that's trying to get the most out of your players.
I was going to say he's intense. He's an intense coach. Now he's still a relatable coach, but he's an intense coach that typically asks a lot of his players. Not quite like, I wouldn't put it at like a Rick Tocchet level, or like a Rob Brindamore level of intensity, but he's very, very intense. Like, and as I said, has high expectations of guys, and generally holds guys pretty accountable, and is generally well liked. Like, it doesn't do it. It's not a ruthless, at least in my experience. It wasn't a ruthless type of it. It was just, no, these are the expectations. This is how we're going to play. This is what we're going to do. And I want you on board with that. And so it is tough. And the part, I mean, it's hard for me is I really liked him. I still really like him. And I think he's a good coach. And so again, it's a situation where you're looking for answers. You can't find them. And it becomes the easiest piece to move, because you don't have to move salary cap in or out to do it. So, victim of a team's struggles, maybe. Is it his fault? I mean, I haven't watched them enough this season to say definitively that it's not. But I also haven't watched them enough to say definitively that, yeah, it 100% was coaching. So, they make a change. They said they go to a let's call it a veteran NHL coach, someone that has been around a little while. That's not like a novice rookie unknown, where you're trying to bring some stability in, and hoping that a different voice helps.
What about in Ottawa? Jay Woodcroft was trending on Twitter last night. I clicked on it because everybody's saying, Steve Staios is going to grab Jay Woodcroft to come be the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. They are dead last in the East, but they've also only played 17 games. They've got like 4 or 5 games in hand on some guys, obviously, right now. So, but they're a game under 500. I think they're 8-9 on the year. Gage, we talked about it on this show prior to the season. There was the Buffaloes, the Detroits, and the Ottawas, like these teams that are going to take the next step. And Ottawa has been the least successful of the 3 thus far. Even last night, you see the goaltender. Did you see Korpisalo last night slamming his stick on the ice for somebody to come and get the bloody puck behind the net? Like, that just looks dysfunctional, Gager, doesn't it? And then DJ Smith after the game said, yeah, we weren't ready tonight. That's on me. Like, to me, it's almost like a, okay, put me out of my misery type of thing here. Because when you see a reaction like that from a goalie, it's obviously, I mean, the team's just, it's not on the same page right now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I like DJ Smith, but how many times have we seen him speak and say the guys weren't ready. This is on me. It's been too many times he's said that, Dusty. He's
maybe
been with
say
this
something different.
Yeah, maybe say
I had them ready. They should have been ready. It's their fault.
That's on them.
No, no. He's this is when I look at the Oilers, I still think it was kind of premature to change coaches. But getting I think Smith's time in Ottawa, it's borrowed time at this point. We're probably going to, with all the other moves now that we've seen with the coaching carousel, you're going to see GMs go, okay, we got to do something. You've seen improvements, subtle improvements with Edmonton. We'll see what's happening in Minnesota. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Woody in the nation's capital by any means. A fresh voice with a team that's had the same message over and over. And look,
a good group,
all said,
good talented group.
Yeah, we've said we think that this team is going to be something coming in the East, creating havoc, probably a wild card team, but not an easy out come playoff time. Something has to change because on paper, that team is way too good to be in where they are with the talent that they have.
Lots of NHL news to get to, including some changes to All-Star Weekend in Toronto. They're going to add a third day. They're bringing back the draft. Players are going to be paired with celebrity captains who will help make the pick. There's a 3-on-3 women's hockey showcase from the PWHL, so that's nice to see as well. A little bit more on skills competitions as well. But what do you guys think of adding a third day to the All-Star festivities and bringing back the player draft, Cass? Let's start with you there.
I mean, I like the player draft. I think that's a fun element, and it makes it fun for the players too, right? Like where everyone's laughing about it. So to me, it's a fun thing. I didn't like when they got rid of it. I like them bringing it back. I mean, 3 days is a long time. Now, that's what I would say is, you're increasing the likelihood of someone coming down with a slight groin pull, possibly for some of the guys, because it's like that's a lot to be around for a whole bunch of days during that break. But I like the parts that they added. I think that's good. And you're trying to make it more fun with the celebrities and make it more of a spectacle. And even for fans going, I mean, you get to see maybe a celebrity or an actor or a musician or whoever it ends up being that you're a fan of and see them involved in it alongside of hockey, which is not something we see that often. So yeah, hey, it's fun. I like it. Make it fun. Continue to make it fun. Continue to make it interesting. I'm all for it.
Yeah. 3-day weekend, it's for the fans in that city. I've always said that. I'll be intrigued to watch the draft. It's always fun to see who's picked last. Like they were showing pictures of Kessel sitting there in the room alone, which is absolutely hilarious because then they picked the MVP of the All-Star game too, or whatever it was. But yeah, I think it's great to get everyone involved. Really. Them doing this now makes me think in a few years when it is in Edmonton, eventually they get it. That'll be a lot of fun just going down there and watching all the festivities of the All-Star game. I think it's pretty cool.
As always, two guys and a goalie, part of Edmonton Sports Talk and Cool Bet. If you would like to bet our little Edmonton Sports Talk parlay tonight, it is Connor McDavid 2 points or more, Nuge and Hyman with a point each, and the Edmonton Oilers to win. It's at plus 285. We'll have a pregame show tonight starting at 5:30 with Cass joining Matthew Owanek. Cass, you're at the game though. Have you figured out how you're going to hop on for post game or what?
We got it all. We got it all sorted.
Oh, you do.
Don't you worry. Don't you?
But
worry.
I'm hosting post game, and I don't even know.
Yeah, no, we'll be good. I mean, post game, I might be a couple minutes late because we don't have access to Tom, so we can't just run over to.
Just can't run over to his house. So
can't run over to his house.
I'll be cruising along. You hop in when you do.
Yeah. Dusty will hold on, and then I'll hop on as soon as I can post game but pregame. Yeah, we're good. Me and Matthew got it set. We're tight now because I.
Enough with this Commissioner Owanek love, Matt. You're killing me here. You're killing me.
Come on. You have the best commissioner going in the F1 pool. He's just upset with the way it goes. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know if I want to say congratulations on your Constructors Championship at the end because it was never clearly identified that it even existed.
You don't have to because it doesn't exist.
So, Cass, where did your team finish if you won Constructors? Where did you finish? Second and
second and third.
Yeah, that's a good season. Damn, eh? That's
And my second was only a couple points behind.
Well, Tony only had one team in there too, so
That's his own fault. Like, you're gonna blame me?
Oh,
for that,
Tony only had
team?
the one team, so he wasn't even really available to be in the mix for the Constructors Championship.
So I don't even know. Yeah. I don't even know why he's allowed to. Like, I mean, he should be disqualified. He didn't run 2 cars all year. So,
oh my God.
I mean, that's actually kind of a valid point. I guess he got to focus on the one team all season. But no, that's good stuff. Predictions for tonight, guys. What do you think?
I think 5-4 Edmonton OT.
Oh, okay, perfect. Bet overtime. I like that. Cass?
7-1 Vegas. I'm running with that now because it seems to
the
work
reverse.
The
reverse. That's a good one. Okay, and
Dusty, what wings from Popeyes do you suggest that we munch on during this game?
The spiciest ones.
We had all 5 of them. They were all delicious. The garlic parm was outstanding.
Ooh.
I'm a big honey garlic guy myself. Honey garlic was good. Honey barbecue was. They were all good. They were all good, man. You can't go wrong. We had all 5 flavors last Friday, and you can't go wrong. I highly suggest getting those new wings from Popeyes. You will not be disappointed. And text me and let me know how delicious they are.
Because they're 1-0 while watching.
Yeah,
with
that's a
Popeyes
good point.
wings.
Somebody's got to get on those again.
Yeah.
That's right, with the Popeyes wings, that's for sure. All right, that's going to do it for 2 Guys and a Goalie. Today's episode will be titled Mum's the Word, until we hear more, obviously. For Gage and Cass, I am Nielson. Edmonton Sports Talk. Sports coverage continues tonight. 5:30 pregame with Matthew Iwanek. Be ready for that. I'll be back post-game tonight breaking down the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Have a great day, boys. We'll talk to you later.